Shalom, Yasharallah. This is your brother Dawadah from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise unto Yahawah, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, RACHAQUADASH. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great MILLSTONE that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, so I want to jump to this lesson dealing with this gospel being preached into the four corners of the earth. All right, because basically, you know, we're here in the year 2019, the year of the Karagma, as it's clear to see, it's clear as evident that, you know, that's being pushed and ramped up this year, you know, heavily. And we just at the beginning of it, you know. But nevertheless, you know, according to the prophecies, you know, measuring the time diligently, you know, we know that we at the end of this thing. All right. So also at the same time, you know, you have a lot of these people waking up that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. You know, a lot of these you know, not to say that the Edomites are important in anything that they're saying, but you have some of these Edomites who were strongly compelled against a lot of the doctrine that we were saying, you know, and a lot of the things we were saying. And people that weren't necessarily involved with us in the truth, but now all of a sudden they're changing up their stories, you know. I can give a couple of examples. There's a page, Truth Unveiled, you know. This is an Edomite or Edomite sounding person who, you know, if you go way back in their history and stuff like that, they used to talk about, like, you know, the Illuminati stuff, this and that. But over the time, you know, somewhere down the line, they found out that the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Well, I think they just said Negroes. But nevertheless, you know, they're starting to get some of these things, you know. And then beforehand, they used to say, I believe he still says the mark of the beast is something completely different. But, you know, now is, you know, you're starting to see these people is like, okay, wait a minute. You know, they're taking heed to the things, or not to say they're taking heed, but they're realizing the things that we're saying is coming true, you know? And so as you see, this gospel is being preached on the four corners of the earth. Not only that, you're starting to see people, more and more people wake up around the world. You know, you're starting to see more and more Israelites, you know, that, you know, basically confusion of faces. You know, you're starting to see, you know, for a lack of a better term, so-called Chinese people prophesying, you know, putting up videos or re-uploading videos, you know, or Japanese people or so on and so forth. Really, they're all Israelites, you know, just confusion of faces scattered over there. But these are ways of showing that this gospel is being preached over there, you know, and we're not, you know, the men of GMS, we're not flying to none of these countries or none of these other places to do all this. All right. So I want to jump into the scriptures, and I'm going to show a little bit of something in one of these apps that I got that show, you know, a little bit about this gospel being preached on the four corners of the earth. All right. So we're going to start out here in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 14. It says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come." All right. So, you know, there's a little more into this than what we normally just read over. It says, "In this gospel of the kingdom." All right. So, you know, as Christians, we would think, oh, well, the Bible, all right, it's going to be pushed throughout the whole four corners of the earth and everybody going to know about Jesus. All right. Well, let me read the end part. It says, "And then the end shall come." All right. So if that was the case, the end would have been came, especially since the so-called white man came over here to the Americas. All right. Because they had already spread all of that. You know, they did, what do they call it? The Spanish conquest and all that stuff. Those, they had a lot of, the Crusades and things like that. You know, they had a lot of wars and stuff where, you know, Christianity was being heard of and people knew about what was going on. So that had already been done on that side of the globe. But when the so-called white man came over here to the Americas, all right, you know, basically the only people at that point in time that didn't know of Jesus in that form, the way that the so-called white man was preaching, was the people that was over here on this side. All right. And the so-called Negroes who would come over on the slave ships. All right. And then it was being indoctrinated into their minds. All right. So nevertheless, at that point in time, basically we would have had all this, the end would have already came. But that's not the gospel that the scriptures is talking about. What is the gospel that is talking about? The real truth. All right. The good news to the Israelites, the good news about what? It says, "In this gospel of the kingdom." All right. What kingdom? You know, most of the time when these Christians be talking, they be talking about, you know, here and now and whatever, whoop-de-whoop, you know, because these are Edomites basically talking about this stuff, you know, and they trying to brainwash you, Jake. But nevertheless, you know, what we preaching at hadn't really been heard, especially by the masses. That's why you having a lot of Israelites wake up now, you know, letting them know, listen, we finna go, you know, how they say, oh, you know, when you die, you go to heaven. Well, I mean, in a sense, you know, like the scriptures say, everybody, you know, once everybody died, you know, all the spirits return to him that created it. But nevertheless, the heaven that we all think about is going to be played out here on earth. All right. The gospel of the kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on earth. All right. Israel is going to be ruling over these nations. All right. Israel is going to have all these other nations under their foot, you know. So this is the new God, not to say the new gospel, the true gospel that's being preached into the four corners of the earth. All right. It's now being preached out who is Jacob and who is Esau. You know, you could ask a lot of these Christians about if they know who Jacob and Esau are. And they'll be like, yeah, they twin brothers. And Jacob stole Esau's birthright. And that's all that they know. They don't realize that these two characters or these two people in the Bible are like the two main characters of the Bible. All right. You know, this is where everything's going to be hinged off of between Jacob and Esau. All right. But they don't realize that. So that hadn't been opened up unto them. All right. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Then the end shall come. So not only is this gospel being preached, all right, the truth of the doctrine is being preached, but nevertheless is being preached throughout the whole world. All right. And to all nations. All right. So all these different nations are starting to wake up and they're starting to look around and see what's going on. You know, you got some, you have brothers in other countries and things like that are waking up and they seeing the same thing that, you know what I'm saying? How do I say, like the same curses we under, you know, and they starting to see these different things like, hold on, wait a minute. You know, we're not just talking about so-called black people in America, you know, like the scriptures say, we scattered in the four corners of the earth. You know, this is something that's transcends borders. We're not talking about a so-called population. These are people, you know, so you might have some of the confusion of faces in other countries that are under the same curses we under, and they still, you know, how do I say, are witnessing the same thing. They witnessing the same curses and atrocities that we're going through. All right. Over here in America, you know, it's no difference. All right. It says, let me see. That's all I wanted to grab there. So let me give you a little backdrop of why these things are just the way that they are. All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 4. So like, I was going into about, you know, this gospel being preached to all the world, right? Like I said, the so-called white man had already brought the Bible over here and was preaching, you know, the so-called Christianity that, you know, a form of it that we know today. So that didn't come. All right. And, you know, like your grandma and everybody else's grandma and so on and so forth, who had been going to church prior to this, you know, they all read the Bible, been in church for 40 something years, and they don't really have no kind of understanding. But you get one of these men of the Lord, maybe been in the truth 1 or 2 years, and they can just run circles through them. All right. Because they have way more of an understanding of the scriptures. All right. And we're going to, find out why. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4. It says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the end. All right. Now I want to skip a little bit and jump down and I'll come back to that. It says, Daniel 12 and 9, he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the times of the end. All right. So the scriptures, all right, it's not saying that, you know, you got a Bible on your shelf, you know, and you can't open the Bible up because there's a locket on it. No, you know, it's, you know, we've all had Bibles on our shelves. We was all able to open them up and read them and whatever, whatnot. But to give an example, it's like, you know, like the scriptures do preach about prosperity. All right. Like the Lord do want you to prosper. However, when the Christians and stuff like that, they read all of those things, you know. They think about, you know, the Lord wants you to prosper financially. The Lord wants you to prosper here in America and so on and so forth. It's not open to them that they taken into captivity. They in captivity and you're not going to prosper. Like, it's like saying, look, man, I want you to, you know what I'm saying? You know, somebody moving to a new house. I wish you well, you know, I hope you get your house all fixed up nice and build onto it, add on it, so on and so forth. You know, that's somebody that own a house. They own their own property and land, but you don't tell that to somebody in jail that's in a prison. Like, yo, man, I hope you prosper in here. You know, I hope you build up your jail cell and knock down some of these walls. Well, he in jail. That's not going to happen. All right. So you have to have that understanding that, hey, man, you in captivity. The Lord talking about he hope you prosper spiritually. All right. That you make it through all of this. Like this. Let me go back real fast to give a quick little example. Not to make this too long. Matthew 24. We was just right there. Matthew 24 and 13. But he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So look, man, hey, you're going to be going through great tribulations and things like this. You know what I'm saying? All these are the beginning of the sorrows. But what? You got to endure to the end. All right. The Lord wants you to prosper through all that, talking to his elect. All right. But it's not talking about, you know, and prospering your ways and like the scripture say, with all that get understanding. All right. Those types of ways. You need to be prepared for what's coming. You need to get your training and stuff like that prepared. All right. So going back to the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4 says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. All right. So it says, seal the words of the book even to the end. All right. Now we at the end, we right here in the day of the Lord, we right here at the end all be all, measuring the time diligently, seeing that the mark of the beast is, hey, it looked like it's scheduled to be implemented right here this year. All right. Or enforced this year. All right. It says, many shall run to and fro and knowledge shall be increased. And that's exactly what you're seeing right now. Let's say, really before 2007, the Israelites wasn't really on YouTube pushing this here doctrine out or pushing this truth out. There was camps that was on the highways and the byways. And yeah, there was a lot of people that was coming into the truth then and so on and so forth. However, there's how do I say, a lot more people seeing this and hearing this and coming to this truth, now that after 2007, that the elders went on the internet. All right. And so now with that, just like right now you're watching this here video, you can, like what I did when I first started watching videos, I took a notebook. Every time a brother would bring out a precept, I would write that down, go and look it up and read it, so on and so forth, and I would put certain precepts around in different areas or whatever, whatnot, to get a whole understanding. Every time there was a scripture about slavery, or somebody, Edomites going into captivity, I would write all them down. So I got a whole page of like, okay, so now look, here's all the scriptures, pertaining to this and that, and so what knowledge is being increased mainly through what, these video epistles, us going on the highways and the byways. You got brothers that come out to the camps. You a lot of the times you're not going to see these brothers on camera because, most of the time the cameras are just pointed on the brothers that's speaking. But, behind the cameras, a majority of the time there's at least one or two brothers, if not a couple brothers or a crowd of brothers or even sisters that's on the sidelines watching. We have sisters also, brothers and sisters that watch our videos as well. They, a lot of times the sisters don't really say too much, they just learn and learning and quietness and being humble, and the same with the men. I was the same way. I never really commented on none of the videos. I just sat there and wrote down certain things and learned, so knowledge was being increased. Knowledge about what? Knowledge about how to build a new Ford engine, how to build a house, how to start a business. No, not that type of knowledge. Well, in a sense, really, it's twofold, knowledge of the scriptures. This is what it is talking about. The scriptures, is going out. People are getting more and more knowledge. But on the flip side to that, you know what I'm saying? In all reality, a lot of knowledge is being increased. False knowledge is being increased to so-called dilute this, At the same time, this is why you're seeing the flat earth coming out again. This is why you're seeing Kemet and all this extra shit coming out again. All these different things is coming out to so-called distract the Israelites from coming back into the truth because the real truth is out there. All right. And so you're starting to see that on the flip side. That's one of the reasons why you have all these different shits popping out like the flat earth and shit like that, But nevertheless, let me jump down to verse 9 again. It says, and he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white, tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. All right. So first and foremost, these Edomites, all right, this is not for them. All right. Hey, there's some scriptures that's for them, talking about them going into captivity and, they about to, be taken out of power, things like that. But nevertheless, they judgment. But this gospel of the kingdom and salvation is for the Israelites. All right. But what? 2/3 of our people, they're not going to hear and not going to understand. But what? The elect, like the scriptures say, my sheep hear my voice and they do follow. All right. So nevertheless, the elect, they're going to hear this and they're going to, how do I say, cleave unto this truth. All right. So, going back into the book of Daniel, the books were sealed. All right. Being that the breakdowns and the prophecies and all these different things, no man could really understand these things at that point in time. All right. So let me go over, jump in history a little bit. This is Revelation chapter 5. All right. Verse 1. And I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. All right. So basically this is the scriptures. All right. The scriptures, it's like in the book of Daniel, we was reading how the scriptures is being sealed up. People didn't really understand certain things. Just like, when YAHAWASHI was on the scene, talking and preaching and teaching to the disciples and things like that, they had to have an understanding. Just like Paul didn't understand what was going on at first. Then he had to, the Lord gave him an understanding. You see what I'm saying? Those things were sealed. They didn't understand what was going on, but YAHAWASHI came and supped with them, broke bread with them, and gave them an understanding. But what? They had to become a falling away first. All right. So now we here in the waking up time frame. All right. Now YAHAWASHI, all right, let me just continue on reading. It says, and I saw at the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. And no man in heaven, nor on earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. So there was nobody that was worthy to open the scriptures, the Bible up and get the breakdowns. All right. And in the carnal sense, there was no man on the planet Earth that was going to be able to open up the Bible and say, okay, I know what this is talking about. I know what that's talking about. I know these breakdowns. Because of why? It was all sealed up. All right. Verse 4. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and read the book, neither to look thereon. So, hey, the books is still sealed, you know, according to what we was reading, like in the book of Daniel, right? The breakdowns. You know, now some of the scriptures, like in the book of Daniel, they were broken down, you know, like he was like, hey, what do you mean by these statues? And they tell you, you know, what certain things are. All right. It says, verse 5, and one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the books and to loose the 7 seals thereof. All right. So basically, YAHAWASHI was the only one that was worthy enough to get these breakdowns. All right. So he got the breakdowns. And just like when he walked the scenes, he broke bread with his disciples. All right. So, all right, let me go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 2. I'm going to read chapter 2 real quick and jump into chapter 3. This is Ezekiel 2 and 1. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand up upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me, and when he spake unto me, and he set me on my feet, and I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee into the children of Israel to a rebellious nation that rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even to this very day. All right. So the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning and our understanding. Ezekiel being a man of the Lord and a prophet. Hey, man, we reading what, you know, was being commanded of him. All right. And so as we continue on, he said, well, he's saying, look, he's going to send him to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation. All right. Verse 4, for they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them. Thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, and whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them. All right. And basically, you know, that's the time frame that we in now. You know, we telling our people on the highways and the byways and on these video epistles, man, death, destruction, mourning, and woe is coming to this place. Come out of her, my people, you know, flee out of the midst of her, be not partakers of her sins. All right. So, you know, we telling our people that, you know, and like, yo, release their hand, because though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. You know, you want to be, you know, hand in hand cooning with these damn Edomites, you gonna go right down with them, you know. And more importantly, you take that damn microchip right along with these Edomites, your ass is grass right along with them, you know. But what? They a rebellious house, they stiff-hearted, but what? At the end, they're gonna know it's been a prophet among them when they be like, oh shit, somebody told me about this. Verse 6, and thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and thorns be with thee, thou dost dwell among scorpions, be not afraid of their words, neither be dismayed at their look, though they be a rebellious house. You know, and that's just talking about, hey man, take heed. You grew up amongst all these damn Jakes, man. You know how it is to get down with Jake, man. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they might, you know, be with, you know, from the outside, being all with that rah-rah, rough type of shit. And, you know, oh man, Jake might try to put his hands on me. Look, man, you'd have been in way worse situations like that growing up just around Jake, man. That's not who you need to really be worried about, all right? It says, and thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat what I give thee. All right. So the key that I want to get into all of this is the fact that the Most High is giving Ezekiel all of this. All right. And he's telling him to open his mouth and eat what I give thee. All right. So what is he about to eat? And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein, and it was spread before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentation, mourning, and woe. All right. And that's, let me jump into Ezekiel 3. Verse 1, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, eat that what thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak into the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat. Verse 3, and he said unto me, son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat, and it was in my mouth for sweetness, in my mouth as honey for sweetness. Verse 4, and he said unto me, son of man, go get thee to the house of Israel, speak with them my words. unto them, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Let me jump down to verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words of my mouth and give them warning from me. All right. So going back to Ezekiel 2 at the very end, all the way into Ezekiel 3. All right. What he's eating is this here roll. All right. The scriptures basically. All right. Just like you men of the Lord just coming into this here truth, man. I'll give you a quick testimony of how it was when I came into the truth. I was on the internet, on YouTube, watching whatever. I don't know what the hell I was watching. And I don't know how I wound up stumbling on one of the videos, But nevertheless, I stumbled across the apostles' videos, and me being simple-minded and just a baby, and damn, I was fed so much meat that day. I was throwing up left and right. I was trying to click off the video as quick as possible, But then something was stinging in my ear, and I had to go back and try to prove them wrong. Let me write this down and go prove them wrong and whatnot. So as I was, as I was researching a lot of these things, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. He might be right about this. He might be right about that. Fuck that he over here talking about fucking shit niggas. Nigga, I talk like that, so I ain't worried about that. But what the hell is he talking about the so-called Negroes in the Bible and these curses? Hold on, let me find this out. Let me find that out. So basically, how they say metaphorically, sometime I was sitting down, I was lunching on that. I was grubbing on that. A lot of you brothers are sitting there watching, when you first come into this, you start binge watching videos and stuff like that, video after video after video, you causing yourself to eat that roll, you getting that understanding, you digesting it, and especially when you first come into this, it's in your mouth, sweet as honey, but then it's bitter in your belly because, hey man, you realize, oh damn, we still under these curses. We still got to make it through this bad boy, whatever, whatnot, but nevertheless, as far as, the so-called eating process, you got to eat this here roll and digest this. The Most High is like YAHAWASHI say, hey, look, he's coming to sup with you. You having that there meal. All right. When, sometimes like a family, you sit down, like, the so-called Edomite family on TV, you sit down around a table, y'all discuss what's going on. Well, hi, Johnny, how's karate class going? How is things going? Y'all sitting down at the table, breaking bread. You eating, and then y'all talking about what's going on, same deal. Same with these here videos, same with the highways and the byways, brothers and sisters, they watch the videos and things like that. They get edified. They get built up, because of why? First and foremost, same thing here, man. The Lord came to, let's say one brother, that brother went and taught another brother and on down, as you see, we got like the apostles on down, from them, a lot of us, the majority of all of us, all came in, learning up under them, or if not from them, we learned from a man that learned from up under one of those men. All right. So we sat down and we ate at their table and we were supping with them. And we got full of this food. We got used to this food and we start liking this here food. All right. So from there, we're going to go to, Ezekiel 9. All right. In verse 4. All right. So after we ate this here, all right, I'm going to build a little picture here. It says, Ezekiel 9:4 says, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right. So 2 points I wanted to pull out here, that there was going to be a mark set upon the foreheads of these men. All right. And they would be out basically on the highways and the byways, sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done thereof. All right. And also they would be bidding as many to the marriage, and also like in Ezekiel, giving warning to the children of Israel, hey man, if the Most High say, look, don't eat swine, don't eat swine. You know what I'm saying? The Most High say, don't sleep with your brother's, old lady, don't sleep with no man's old lady. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, painting a picture here, you have these men that's on the highways and the byways. All right. Giving the children of Israel that warning, telling them to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, raising them up, telling them who they are and so on and so forth. All right. Now they're going to have this here mark, which, when you go into this here word mark, it says, exempt from judgment. Just real quick. This here word is, says, a mark, a sign of exemption from judgment. All right. So that's not like the mark of the beast, but nevertheless, just following, there would be these men, i.e. the prophets that would be prophesying, and they have this here mark. All right. Jump to Revelation 7 real fast, 7:4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000, all the tribes of the children of Israel. All right. So, let me read verse 3. It says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000, all of the tribes of the children of Israel. So going back to Ezekiel 9:4, those men that would be on the highways and the byways, all right, that would have that mark or that seal, mark of that exemption from judgment, will be 144,000, all the tribes of the children of Israel. So these are all Israelites, all right? So now let me jump over to chapter 14. It says, Revelation 14:1, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having the Father's name written in their forehead. So we just read about them in Revelation 7. These are all of the children of Israel. Now, you can find out this ain't just the whole house of Israel, but this is the elect, the 1/3, 144,000 of the children of Israel. Salakia, this is the 144,000 of the children of Israel, which we just read in Revelation 7. All right. Now, these men are going to be on the highways and the byways prophesying and waking up the children of Israel, like we just read, because of why? The books was open unto them to go out and give warning unto the children of Israel. All right. Verse 2, and it says, I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed for the earth. All right. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. Now, the women and the virgins is talking about these different doctrines and ideologies. All right. Like, you know, the men of the Lord, they're not over here stumbling with Kemet, the Moors, Egypt, all that extra shit. You know, the men of the Lord are not with that. You know, they just with this here truth, the scriptures. That's it. You know, it says, these are they which are not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb wherever so he goeth. All right, going back to the virgins, you know, yeah, a lot of the brothers might have been in all kind of different backgrounds or so-called truths before this, but what, once they heard the Lamb, they follow, and they ain't going back touching no other woman. You know, they undefiled. But what, you have some men that'll come in and pick up the scriptures and hear a little bit of truth and try to marry it with something else, but yet they, you know, basically playing a harlot. They sleeping around with different doctrines, more or less to say. It says, these were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and unto the Lamb, and in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. All right. So going back up, well, in verse 5, there was no guile found in their mouth. Why? Because they sung this new song that nobody else could sing. All right. But the 144,000, and it's not this song that they was just so talented to sing or whatever, whatnot. All right. First and foremost, the song is these scriptures. They got the breakdowns of these scriptures that no other man could get. All right. Because of why? First and foremost, originally the scriptures were sealed. All right. And the only person that was able to unseal the books was YAHAWASHI. And YAHAWASHI, like we just read right here, says, look, Revelation 14:1, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their forehead. So YAHAWASHI is with this 144,000, which that 144,000 are all of the tribes of the children of Israel, or they all come out of the tribes of the children of Israel. All right. Now, these same men will be on the highways and the byways, sighing and crying for all the abominations thereof. They would also be bidding as many to the marriage. They would also be giving warning to the children of Israel and letting these other nations know what their damn future is. All right. I.e. the prophets. All right. Now, they were singing this new song that nobody else could sing because of why? YAHAWASHI said, it says, let me, verse 4 says, these are they which are not defiled with women, for their virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb wherever so he go. So YAHAWASHI came and he broke down the scriptures and supped with this 144,000, gave them the lyrics to this here new song, gave them the beat, rehearsed it with them. They had multiple rehearsals. They was on stage and they performed it multiple times. Well, they, you know, rehearsed it multiple times. And now they're the only ones that know this performance. All right. The only people that know this performance is the ones that was sitting there rehearsing together. All right. YAHAWASHI rehearsed with his elect, 144,000. Now they, you know, not necessarily that they was all found at one point in time, but, you know, let's say you started with just one. That one went out and found another one. That other one went out and found another one. All right. They're teaching this here new song, or they going out there singing like the scriptures say, look, we've piped unto you, but you've not danced. All right. So we out here singing, but only the 144,000 in the elect, they going to sit here and dance to this song. Like, oh shit, what that is? Turn that shit up right quick. Oh, hell yeah. I like this. Burn me a copy of that. You know what I'm saying? Only the elect going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I first came into this, you know what I'm saying? I would stumble on the apostles videos, and I did not want to hear that at all. But I was just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you hear that one song that's so annoying, like, man, turn that shit off. But then you start singing that song over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it was like, you know? You ain't have no choice but to take heed. Like, damn, I don't know what it is about that song, but I like the way that song is sounding, you know? Let me grab a Apocrypha real fast. We're going to close out after this. Now we was reading about, in Daniel, the books were sealed. All right. Yahawashi was the only one that's able to open those books. All right. Then the Lord put the spirit on the prophets to go out and to prophesy, raise up the elect. All right. Now the elect, the 144,000, they're going out there. Well, the men of the Lord, they're out there trying to raise up all the 144,000 on the highways and the byways preaching. All right. Now this gospel is going out throughout the whole four corners of the earth, and we're going to see how. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6. I'm going to jump around real quick. 2nd Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the part and asunder of times, or when shall the end of the first be in the beginning of it that followeth? All right. So the question is, when is the end of the world? All right. Well, I'll read from verse 18, verse 17. And it happened that when I heard it, I stood upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them that what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and have afflicted, and when the affliction of Zion be fulfilled. All right, which we at that time now, we coming up out of our captivity, being raised back up, and when the and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, and exactly all the so-called, hey man, look at all these Edomites being uncomfortable here. Everything is collapsing over here for these goddamn Babylonians. All right, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. All right, what tokens? It says the books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. All right, what books? The scriptures. All right, the scriptures is going to be open before the firmaments. All right, and they're going to see all together. Now, speaking on this here firmament, let me go in the book of or Psalm 19. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. All right, day and day utter a speech, night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out throughout all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. And in them have he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices as a strong man to run to the race. His going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the end of it, and there's nothing hid from the heat thereof. All right. So going back to 2nd Ezra 6, the books was going to be opened before the firmament. All right. What books? The scriptures, like in the book of Daniel. All right. Yahawashi, right? Yahawashi was the only one that was able to open the books, right? He opened them up before the firmaments, right? Like it says, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament show his handiwork. What's up in the skies and in the heavens? All right. Inside the heavens is where the satellites and all these things are orbiting the earth. All right. With the satellites, we get what? We get the internet. All right. A lot of this is done wireless nowadays, So it says day and day utter a speech, night unto night show of knowledge. All right. Day and day. Every day you go on YouTube. All right. Basically going into the YouTube. That's where a lot of this knowledge is being pushed out. Every day you go on to YouTube, there's a new video uploaded, new video uploaded from one of the brothers, putting up this here truth. Day unto day, hour unto hour, night into night, 24 hours a night throughout the whole day. There's brothers putting up videos. All right. It says there's no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. All right. And yeah, the YouTube has the closed caption, translate and all that, where they can translate this. And also you have other brothers, like let's say you have in China, of course, we got the confusion of faces. You might have a Israelite brother that's been scattered over there in China, growing up looking like the Chinese, speak the Chinese language, but also speak and understand English, and hear this here song and is resonating with him, and he's following the lamb. All right. Now he go to put back up videos. He'll take some of our videos, let's say, and translate them because he know how to translate. All right. Further pushing out the word for any of the fish that's over there. All right. So it says there's no speech nor language where their voice is not heard, and like the majority of us brethren, some of the brethren speak, different languages and things like that. But, some brothers are given the gift of, tongues to be able to, there's some camps that, speak only Spanish. You have, some of the bigger camps where they have a Spanish only camp, but nevertheless, you have, like I said, these tools and these different things where people can translate, these scriptures, but nevertheless, this, going into this, how this word is going out, basically through the internet. It says their line is going out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them have you set a tabernacle for the sun. What line is going out throughout all the earth? Like they say, America Online, or we're about to get online, the World Wide Web. Those the lines of the webs are all connecting throughout the whole world. Let me pull out this here app real quick. It's called YT Studio. I wanted to show this real quick. Now, I pulled this out a while back when dealing with Nate and them trying to buy an airplane to spread this here word out. All right, now this isn't the full view. I don't know how to get the whole thing back up, but yeah, this isn't the full view. They've consolidated some stuff, but nevertheless, let me see the last 7 days. All right, about 20% of them are outside the country, but it used to be where it says other here, they would actually list all the other countries, but nevertheless 50.1%, you know what I'm saying, just a little over a half, like 1%, 0.1%, you know what I'm saying, of my views are coming from America, meaning that the other 50%, damn near 49.9%, is outside of America. All right, 1.7% is in the United Kingdom, 0.1% is in Australia, and 48% is in other. All right. Now, like I said, this app used to show all the other nations that it was in, all the other countries that it was in. And I can tell you, you know, flat out, you know what I'm saying, that I ain't been in no other country to be preaching this here word, let alone I ain't never left the state of Florida to go preach this here word in another state, you know? So how much more to another country? You see what I'm saying? So we not going to these other countries. Like, I've never been to Australia. Don't know nobody in Australia, the United Kingdom. There's brothers out there, but, you know, and when you go into this other, I had seen Saudi Arabia, Israel, Pakistan, all kind of different places like that. You know what I'm saying? You be like, damn, the truth is being pushed over there. Yeah, the truth is being pushed over there, all from the comfort of our own home. You know what I'm saying? Or wherever we at, the highways and the byways. But what? We upload them on what? The internet. So like the scriptures say, the book's going to be open before the firmaments, you know, and the firmament showeth his handiworks. All right. And day and day utter a speech, night unto night, you know, teacheth knowledge. You see what I'm saying? This here word is going out throughout the four corners of the earth, throughout the whole globe. You know, this here gospel is being preached mainly through the YouTube. All right. And here's the proof of it right here. You know, like I said, this app used to show a whole lot more, but you can see almost half of my damn views. You know, I split damn near down the middle, 50-50, damn near 49.9%. You know what I'm saying? 49.9% of my views come from outside of America. All right. So, and this is a very small channel with, I think I only got like 46, 47 subscribers or something like that, you know, very few little views. So if you was to take like the apostles channels and you was to look at this, you will see where these videos are really going. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawashai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great Millstone that taught us this truth and I rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.